Hey everybody, wanted to cut some wood today, and I've been working on this Stihl chainsaw of mine, the MS170. Saw's been running fine, but the bar had completely gone south. Chain wasn't that great either. The chain and the bar basically destroyed themselves. Part of it was due to just wear from use, but also I found out that basically the main problem is that the oiling system, the automatic oiling system on this saw has stopped working. So that's what I've got to figure out now. I had decided to put a new bar and a new chain on, and I also replaced this part right here, which is the drive sprocket. On some saws, this piece is a separate piece that can be removed and changed out separately. On this particular model, this is part of this, so this is replaced as an assembly. I also changed the little needle bearing that's behind here, so I thought I was good to go. I put everything together, topped off the oil, went to make a cut, and could actually see sparks coming off the thing and realized the oiler was not oiling at all. So I immediately shut the saw down and stopped and began to investigate. The first thing I did was I checked to make sure that this tiny hole, which there's a slot right here, and there's a hole right there, and that's actually where the oil comes out, and then it feeds into a hole on the back of the bar. Peter, why don't you go grab the bar out of the stairwell for me? I'll show that. So what you've got is you get this little hole on the bar right here that the oil has to get into. Okay, and that hole right there, when the bar is on correctly, actually covers this slot right here. And the oil comes out of the hole right there and fills this slot and then goes into that hole I just showed you on the bar. The reason why the slot's there is so that no matter where this is adjusted in or out for chain tension, the hole is going to be over the slot somewhere to get oil. So there's nothing obviously clogged about that hole. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this part again, and I've got to get the clutch out and get behind the clutch where the actual part called the worm gear is that actually actuates the oil pump. So this is just held on with a C-clip, this little washer, and then if the chain brake is on, you got to release that. Then there's the little needle bearing. There's a little spacer made out of plastic or something that sits on top of that. Alright, so now I got to get this clutch off. To get this clutch off, it actually unscrews. So I've got to actually turn this. I think this is left-hand thread. So I've got to actually turn it towards tightening to loosen it. But the other trick is that, of course, the crankshaft is going to want to just turn. But I might be able to get it off with an impact driver. So again, this is, I'm going to turn it as if I was going to tighten it because it's a left-hand thread. There we go. Now if you don't have an impact driver, getting this off can be a little tricky. So what you can do is, well, one thing is that Stihl actually has a service tool. You take the spark plug out, and all it is it's a rod with threads on it that threads into the spark plug hole, and the rod sticks down in the cylinder so that when the piston comes up, it hits that rod and the piston can't move, and then it allows you to turn this without everything else turning. But if you don't have one of those, I've actually seen somebody take a piece of nylon rope, stick the nylon rope down into the spark plug hole, enough rope collects in there so that when the piston comes up, it doesn't have room to go any further, and that effectively stops the piston. The nylon's soft enough that it doesn't harm the piston, and then you just grab, because you get the end of the rope sticking out, you can just pull it all out when you get done. This washer comes off. This is marked top, so obviously top's going to be facing out.
Like that guy said.
Okay, so now with the clutch removed, I can remove this gear right here. This is a special gear, and this actually runs the oiler. The way it works is you've got it's a worm drive gear. So these teeth And so you take this out and you check and make sure that the teeth are good. They look fine. And then you're also going to make sure that this little metal piece on the end here isn't all worn off or broken off, because the way this works is that actually, when this is in there, actually engages this little slot right here. So that looks like that might be okay. Well, maybe not. Hold on. I think I just solved my problem, or figured out what the problem is. I just noticed a very little tiny piece of metal inside here, and if I look at this tip on the magnification, there's actually a little bit of damage to it right there. I think what happened was, when I put this new sprocket on, I think I actually didn't notice that this is supposed to go in this slot right here. And I think it was jammed in the wrong place, and I think it actually ended up popping behind there and getting stuck or something. Because there's a mark. Actually, that was the piece of metal I saw on the other side there, and that's gone now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up and put it back together, making sure everything's in alignment, and see what happens before I go any further. I'm also going to take my needle and those pliers and put just a very slight bend in this to compensate for the fact that it may have bent a little bit. The oil tank's empty now. Actually, I guess I could, I don't know, I mean, it's really going to be spinning at engine speeds to really start pumping anything, so. So now, I want to see if I can see that metal piece. So I could see that metal pin sticking out right there. So now I'm going to put this on and make sure that it's actually a line right there too. Tell you where it is. There we go. Would help if I put the bearing back on. That's why it was so loose. Bearing and this little piece right here. All right, now back to where it was. Putting this on and line the line up with, I could just see the end of the metal clip there off that gear. Just gonna spin it around 180 degrees and pull it off and see if it actually moved it to where it's supposed to be. Yeah, it did. Okay. Because if it didn't move it, then I know that that pin is actually too short now, or on that clip. Alright, that's not bad.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah. Are you a Muppet?
What?
Are you a Muppet? Look at that big piece of metal right there.
Why am I a Muppet?
Huh?
Why am I a Muppet?
Why are you a Muppet?
Stop.
Your voice is changing. It's funny. Well, it's starting to rain out, so rather than, I'm wondering if I just pull it. Let's see. Yeah, ignition is off. I'm wondering if I just crank it, whether or not it'll spin it enough to start boiling. That.
I heard that too.
Yeah, you know what? I actually can't. I just realized I can't just crank it. I can't just pull it and see if it's going to go, because when I pull it, this isn't really spinning much. If I spin this with my finger, I think maybe something's coming out.
Yeah, right there. Look, see. That came out.
Yeah, that's from when I spilled oil before. No, I can't tell.
Do you see stuff coming out?
I don't know if it's supposed to have. All right, so I took the saw outside and started it up, and within 10 seconds it started pumping oil out here. So that's all it was. When I put this sprocket on, this new sprocket on, I inadvertently didn't line up that part correctly, and it wasn't driving the oil pump. All right, well that's good. Glad I didn't have to make a special trip to the Stihl dealer for those parts. All right, I guess that's going to be a short video. Oh well.